And Barcelona are right into the round of 16 thanks to a 4-1 win over Cultural Leonesa thanks to goal from Munir, Denis Suarez and Malcom. Certainly for me it's going to be a very entertaining match reaction because trust me, there's a lot of different things we gotta talk about. If by any means you're interested in cheap, reliable footballing kits, be sure to check out Antigua. Links are gonna be in the description down below. They provide worldwide coverage, which is one of the best things I can recommend about them, as well as secure payment options to ensure you get the best service possible. You get the deal, you know the drill, but now let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis PRIME, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and just like always, it's great having you once again. And yeah, let's get right into this match reaction, which I'm very excited to do, because the very first thing that I want to comment on is that it's such a good feeling to be a Barcelona fan right now, to see the kind of like our youngsters produce in a way that only we can dream of. It's outstanding, and certainly the goal from Munir is going to bring him a lot of confidence. The 2 goals from Denis Suarez, even though right now we don't know what's going to happen in the winter transfer window with him, now it raises some eyebrows and actually tells Valverde and basically the board of directors, what happens if we actually do keep Munir in the squad? Because right now, as thin as we are, and now with the injury of Malcom even, someone like Denis Suarez could enjoy those minutes because we actually know how good he can be. It depends whether they want to sell him or loan him actually, so I don't know. That's gonna be a talking point probably for another video, but he was outstanding today in this game and he did exactly what, for instance, we were asking of Coutinho of late, just to have that ability to transition the ball that fast from the midfield and to the final third, and also be able to finish those chances. My god, Denis Suarez was perfect in doing that today. And Malcom, just like always, getting his headed goal, which is very kind of like what's the word, kind of surprising for a winger. Always when a winger scores from a header, it's interesting, and especially someone like Malcom, which is not the tallest, but also not the shortest. Well, it was a fine goal, but it was a very powerful header, so all due respect to that. And that actually points me perfectly into what I want to talk now, and is that I feel bad for his injury, because he's a player that needed those minutes, needed some sort of kind of like mystic, you know, kind of something kind of magical to happen for him to get a lot of game time, and that something magical was kind of Barcelona right now getting a lot of injuries to Luis Suarez, be it to Rafinha, and for other first team players. And in that sense, Malcom needed that thing to happen for him to gain minutes, and now he will not be able to enjoy them, because it seems that now, due to his twisted ankle or something similar to that, he may be missing out for some few more weeks out with that injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, because we all know how awful, how painful it can be to twist an ankle. We've all had that happen to us. Also the wrist, something similar to that. Things where, you know, in the heat of the moment it hurts, but then when it gets cold, your muscle relaxed, that's when it hurts like the B word. That's when it hurts really bad. So yeah, I think that's something that we have to look on, and probably there's going to be an update from Barcelona officially later on. But right now, once again, just Forza Malcom, you will come back stronger just like always. And we certainly want to see more of what you had to do today, because your performance in this game was very powerful. It was very kind of imposing, I gotta say. You really demonstrated that you have the quality, the skill set, all to shine in the shirt of Barcelona. And now I think it's actually the perfect time to talk about, well, the very first thing, like we always do, which is the first 11. And the first 11 for this game, I just have it open up here on my second screen. We got Silicen, Semedo, Chumi, Vermelen, Juan Miranda, Rakitic, Busquets, Aleñá, Malcom, Munir, and Denis Suarez. So overall, this lineup is very similar to what I predicted. I predicted that Coutinho was going to start. I predicted that, if I'm not wrong, Vidal was going to start over Rakitic, but due to an illness problem, something minor, not something, you know, big, kind of an injury, no, just an illness, he missed out this game. And Rakitic started this game. So this is something that I've seen a lot in the comments of you. A lot of you understand what I try to explain in these last few videos, but other of you just say that I hate Rakitic and I don't appreciate him. That's completely the opposite of what I was trying to explain to you in this last 2 videos, where I criticize him a lot. The thing with Rakitic here is that I'm not criticizing him as a player. His performance against Villarreal was not the best, but it wasn't the worst. I did say time and time again he was the most involved player in that game. He was really, really influential. In this game, he was more. He was such an important player for this game, and he actually did the first 3 assists for Barcelona in this game. But that's something I'm going to talk in a little bit, but I just want to explain, like I said, what I said before. So I'm not mad with Rakitic for his performances. Yeah, he can't, not every time a player of his caliber is going to deliver at his best quality. No, it's obvious, I understand that. I'm kind of furious at the decree he has as a starter always. He looks right now to be a player to be untouchable, and packed or no packed, doesn't matter if you believe it or you don't believe it. Personally, I do believe it, but that actually doesn't influence me at all. I'm just saying that no player in any team whatsoever, not even Lionel Messi, not even Cristiano Ronaldo, should be untouchable. They are just like any other player with all of the other. They have the right to, if they're playing good, they should start. If they're not, they shouldn't start. That's the thing. That's how I believe, and that's how I believe football should be kind of like played. But anybody can be open to what they say. And in this game, if let's say if the pact says that he still needs to continue playing as a starter even against third tier opposition, well, I mean, I don't understand it, because kind of like it's harmful to his performances to do that. But well, it doesn't really matter, because apart from all of that, today he did a good match. And as much as I criticized him before because I was in my own right, in this time around, I still have my right to give him recognition for the amazing match he did for the very first half, and also kind of like the very first few minutes of the second one. He was very, very influential, he had a lot more freedom to do, and certainly he looks like the Rakitic of Sevilla in this game, because he was the guy kind of like demanding in that midfield. He like one time was defending, then he was attacking. It looked like he had freaking 17 lungs or something, because Rakitic was all over the field defending, passing, linking, kind of creating, even sometimes finishing. He was a very good player in this squad, and you could tell that he was a level above all of the other players in that field today. Especially for that goal against Munir, not too many players has this ability, and the ability is kind of like to start the play and also finish it. In this time around, Rakitic did not finish it, could have easily done so, but decided to pass over to Munir, because he had that kind of vision, that role, that he was kind of like the dad. I just saw Rakitic being the dad in this kind of like in this game. He was the guy demanding, he was the guy advising, he was absolutely everything. And the link-up play in that such narrow space with Denis Suarez to open up space for him and then for Munir was insane. And the finish from Munir as well was kind of like a clear number 9 finish, you know, not even being facing the goal, he just does this weird turn, but it's in the back of the net. That's what we demand of a number 9 here in this team, and that's what he delivered in this game. The second goal came from Denis Suarez. That was a complete solo goal for Denis Suarez. Rakitic also got the assist on that one, but I think this goal was almost 100% Denis Suarez. Like, there was such a lot of space between him and the goal that I just didn't understand what the Cultural Leonesa players were doing. There was such a big gap, such a like clear path for Denis Suarez to shoot, and just the way he positioned his body then to take the shot was outstanding. 2-0 for Barcelona. And then came the third goal, which was from Malcom this time around. It was, I think, Nelson Semedo pushing for the right, if I'm not wrong, or Carles Aleñá, and then passing into Ivan Rakitic, and then compose a server. He just waits for the perfect moment for Malcom to be free of mark, and then Malcom just puts that header into the back of the net. Like, once again, I said in the start of the video, with an amazing power and good goal overall for our team and everything. And then in the second half, we start off with a goal from Cultural Leonesa of Josep Señé Escudero, I think it was his name, I'm not too sure. But it was kind of like a goal where, first of all, great kind of like effort from one of the Cultural Leonesa players to get a shot from outside the box. Good save from Silicen, but then the rebound. Silicen was in all his right to be defending that first post, and even though it had that deflection that ended up in one of the Cultural Leonesa players, Thomas Vermaelen should have been much closer, cutting down that open space, because that's unacceptable. I know it's just Thomas Vermaelen and not Piqué or Lenglet. I would be worried then if we saw that. But for Vermaelen, he should be doing much better in that situation. And that's cases where you can blame the defense on the defenders. But overall, well, like in counterattacks, kind of defenders are not really weighing to be blamed. You cannot blame players of center backs. You cannot blame center backs in a counterattack. But in situations like this, yes, you can. And boy, oh boy, Vermaelen was such out of position. He should have been, once again, like I said, cutting into space much faster. Like, he needs to be a lot more focused into that. But then overall came obviously the final goal from Denis Suarez, and this one was a wonderful play from Riqui Puig, and I gotta give kind of like 60% the goal from Riqui Puig and 40 to Denis Suarez. Riqui Puig is such an outstanding player, isn't he? Like, the ability, first of all, he has of going kind of like, I don't want to say Messi-esque, but that kind of ability. Also Coutinho has this, that you have that ability of just going like from 0 to 100 like in acceleration really fast, so he can kill off the ball, go really slow, you know, and then just turn up the pace really quickly. And that's what he did in this one. He also tricked the defender, because it seems like he was going to shoot, he looked like he was going to do such a powerful pass, but then he dinks it into the run of Denis Suarez. And as well, Denis Suarez, an outstanding finish from him, because he touched it first just to like get a little bit more space between his feet and also the feet of the defender, and then he just finished it up with his same right foot. What an outstanding finish from Denis Suarez. It's not easy to do that. I've tried that. It's impossible for me. But for someone like Denis Suarez playing at Barcelona, I don't think it's going to be too hard. But well, good enough for that one. And that for me is my favorite goal of the night. Riqui Puig especially. What an outstanding player. I just got to say, like, he's good, isn't he? Like, I was just watching. I was like laying like this. And I was like, my screen is here. And I was watching it. And I was just like, what a good player is Riqui Puig. We got a lot of stuff in our hands. We got a lot of promising players right now in our squad, and we should be very happy of having that. Especially with a long time years ago, people are saying like, oh, where's La Masia? Barcelona are not generating the same quality of players. Well, this is something that doesn't happen every 10 years. Doesn't happen every 2 years. It happens over 10 years, over 11 years, and right now we're starting to see those players come back. And boy, oh boy, we got that great quality of squad now. And I think that now, to the injuries of Malcom and Rafinha, we could be seeing a little bit more of Riqui Puig and Carles Aleñá in our first team. That is something that I certainly encourage Valverde to do a little bit more often, because in games like this they can really show, but we shouldn't just be limiting their performances to Copa del Rey matches. We should really be trying to incorporate them in games, like, because they need to live different situations, you know. Right now they're certainly the clear like favorites to win this game, but for instance, if we're playing against, I don't know, just give me a name, we're playing against Girona, and Girona right now is 1-1, and we need to win this game. Well, just bring Carles Aleñá, see what he can do. He can have an impact. If not, bring Riqui Puig, and the same in other different games. We have to start trying out these players in good situations, kind of like what Guardiola is doing for Phil Foden. I remember Phil Foden, I think, was it against like Arsenal, I think, where he just came in and something like that when they were like 2-0 up. I mean, being 2-0 up against Cultural Leonesa is one thing, but being 2-0 up against Arsenal is a completely different thing. So it's in games like this where I say that there's a little bit more at risk, at play. We should be also giving these players a chance, because they have to learn to live with this, because they are Barcelona players. They're not gonna be forever playing Copa del Rey matches. They also need to start playing those La Liga games, those Champions League games, those what else we have, those Super Copa de España games, stuff like that. We need to start incorporating them in bigger games. But apart from that, I don't see any major issues with how we played this game. I think that we did a very good job. What do you guys think? Leave me who was the man of the match for you up here, or up here, I think. And yeah, leave me also in the comment box down below, once again, what were your thoughts on this game. I'm very eager to hear what you guys had to say, and obviously I want to hear a lot of Riqui Puig in the comments down below, because this guy is the real deal. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.